and good day to you all. This is Dr. Kaveh Elahian coming to you guys with another fantastic interview brought to you by Wellness Influencers. Today we have Dr. Fred DiDomenico, and we are grateful that he devoted some of his time to join us today and give us some pearls of wisdom so we can all use on this beautiful Tuesday. Welcome, Dr. Fred.
Hey, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we'll make this a great experience for everyone, including us. Great to connect with you.
Same here. We are basically basing this whole conversation over mindset and how to change ourselves so we can achieve our goals, because paramount to any sort of change is what change between the ears. So give us some of the thoughts that you have and how you go about in your coaching to change the people's mindsets so they can change their lives.
Well, I think everything starts with a premise and a belief system, a principle. And I think one of the most powerful is a spiritual principle. Of course, I wrote You Are More Powerful Than You Think, right? Where we are divine beings. We're eternal. We come into this body with an intention, with a soul, S-O-U-L, purpose to fulfill. We have to go through our humanity. So we go through all kinds of stuff and we go through pain. But if you look at that perspective, then you see yourself as a spirit having a human experience rather than a human seeking spiritual experience. So that puts you into a whole another level of consciousness where you can actually look at the things that happen in your life. And then you realize that things happen that are evolving me, becoming more aware of ourselves, because our one purpose in life is really to master ourselves, move beyond our humanity and move into the reference point to become conscious of our divinity, right? That's why there's great spiritual leaders like Christ who, Christ wasn't his last name. It's a consciousness, right? I mean, hey, Christ was Jewish. Maybe his name was Abramowitz. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was Goldberg. I don't know. Right. But right. So he came to show us, and he said, you can do all these things and greater. So he came to show us a consciousness. So I believe our real purpose is to find that consciousness, how to contribute that consciousness into humanity, and how to fulfill our soul purpose. So when you start with that reference point, number one, now you're starting with an empowered reference point. And then we're spirit, mind, body, right? That's really the holy triune. We have a spirit, we have our mind, and then we have a body. And our body is the physical vehicle we use to manifest on this physical plane. So when you're looking at rituals, to answer your questions, now that we set that framework, is I have spirit, mind, body rituals every day and every night. So I start with spiritual principles. I read from A Course in Miracles. I read from the Bible. I do my affirmations and incantations that help me connect, help my body feel my spirit, that higher consciousness. I read my goals. That's in mind, right? And then I go so I do all these things. I mean, I drink my green drink in the morning. It's pretty early, so I drink I have to admit, my pre-workout stimulant, so I get all fired up. But I got to be working out by 6 a.m. So I do use a little artificial stimulus right there. And then during my, while I'm working my body, I'm either listening to a spiritually based book, a business book, a podcast, or something that is getting my mind in the right place while I'm working my body. Because that's how our brain works. When we have a feeling in our body and an emotion, and we feel it in our body, that's what wires in our subconscious mind. So while I'm working out, I'm putting positive things in my mind and feeling patterns with new, more empowering patterns. So by the time I get to here, which, before I start my morning meeting, then I write my task list. What am I going to do today? I have at least in my mind, what do I want to create? And then I do my high priority actions first. This is a high priority, so that's why we schedule it at 9:30 Pacific time. You're my first coaching call.
Thank you so much. Now, the issue is that trying to seek that priority. How is it one finds that priority? Because today, in today's society, we find ourselves aimlessly doing the routine, same thing, back and forth all the time. How is it that we can seek that higher priority?
Well, first of all, you just got to categorize. So it's not time management, it's priority management, right? So first of all, there's things that are urgent, there's things that are very important, things that are important. The things that are urgent need to be done today. So the faster I take care of the urgent things, the less stress and anxiety that I feel. Because that's really the key. It's not what you do, it's the energy you do it with. So if I take care of the urgent things in the morning, then I can relax. Then I can take care of the very important things. Like the very important may need to be done today, or they could be done tomorrow. So I may or may not get those done. You know, the important things need to be done 2 or 3 days from now. So, you know, if I get to the important things, great. If I don't, I'm not stressing because I have time. Now, if I wait 3 or 4 days for the important things, now the important things become urgent 3 or 4 days from now. So what I don't want to do is wait until things become urgent, right? So I manage the urgencies so I don't put myself in anxiety. And then you look at what are the 20% of activities that produce 80% of your results. And I try and get those things done. So if I don't have anything that's urgent, I try and get the 20% of activities that get 80% of the results done in the morning.
Now, when it comes to affirmations and planning your day out, are you using a day planner? Do you write it anywhere? For affirmations, are you writing it down? Because some people write it right hands and then left hand, just to imprint it in their mindset and their brain, basically.
Yeah, I'm not that complicated, man. Maybe I should have a planner, but I just get a piece of copy paper and I write my to-do list down.
Okay.
I'm probably more creative than organized. I have a little bit of organized chaos, but it works. So I just get I don't know, just a blank piece of paper and I start writing down things that I need to do, and I keep that there until I either get them done or my priorities change.
Okay. Now, Dr. Fred, give me that visualization. What do you see? Where do you see yourself? And how is it that visualization that gives you the power and basically puts the fire in your belly and wakes you up in the morning?
Well, at 5 a.m., I'm not always so anxious to get out of bed. But, Tony Robbins said something, and he said, don't negotiate with yourself. So the reason that we have challenge is we get into negotiation. So, most of the times I wake up, I'm pretty good, but I just don't like getting up before dark. You know what I mean? I mean, when it's still dark, you know what I mean? So I'll sit there and maybe I hit the snooze, but in that time I'm kind of reviewing what I'm doing. There may be a little bit of negotiation, but the bottom line is there's no negotiation. I don't get up sometimes and not get up other times. I get up 100% of the time. So sometimes I don't always feel like it, but that doesn't matter. And that's really the thing. That's what don't negotiate with yourself. So you condition yourself that no matter what, I'm going to do it. Because I have to start my day like that. Now, there may be other things that I know I should do that I don't get done that day. But at least when I start my day in an empowered state, the probability that I'm going to take empowered action throughout the day becomes much greater. So now, I set the frame in the morning.
The issue is that everybody wants to change. When it comes to coaching, I'm sure you have clients that they tell you they want to change. But when it comes to doing the work, many people lack enthusiasm. What kind of enthusiasm would you recommend for people, or for people who are seeking to change in their mindset, their body, their work, finances, their life, their family issues?
Well, let's change that word from enthusiasm to inspiration, because inspire in Greek comes from entheos, which means in God. So once you understand that the actions that I take today, are they moving me toward fulfilling my soul purpose? SUL. And to me, the worst pain is an unfulfilled purpose, meaning knowing why you're here and not doing it. So rather than enthusiasm, because there's a statement Joe Polish makes. He's the founder of Genius Networks, like the wolf pack of entrepreneurs, right? And he says, people who don't, I'm paraphrasing, people who don't reach their goals wait for inspiration. People who do reach their goals do it with a headache. So that means you're not going to feel enthused about it, but you do it anyway because it's your sole purpose. And that's the difference between an amateur and a professional. A professional doesn't care how they feel. An amateur waits to feel enthusiastic. But it's inspiration of knowing that what I do today, whether I feel like it or not, is moving me toward fulfilling the reason I'm here in this life. And to me, there's no greater reason than that. And that's what makes you move beyond your comfort zone.
Now, our comfort zone is what stops us all from growing, I personally think, because every change is difficult. And when we are set in a routine, it becomes second nature to us. So to come out of that nature and go above and beyond, it becomes very uncomfortable. What is it that you tell your coaching clients when they get that uncomfortable feeling? What is it that they do to stack up their pros so high so the cons don't look so big?
Well, this is what I always say, 98% is harder than 100, because when you're 98%, there's 2% wavering, and that's when you're negotiating with yourself whether or not to do something. But when you're 100% and you do it all the time, like working out in the morning, then you realize not doing it is harder than doing it. Once you've done it enough times and then you don't do it and you feel the difference, you don't feel the same. And so it actually becomes harder to not do it because the pain of not doing is greater than the pain of what it takes to just do it. So you have to do it enough times so the pain of not doing it becomes greater. And then you just do it no matter how you feel.
And we all know that our nervous system is quite plastic. And if you do something enough times, as Chris Zano says, that he does it for 21 days because it takes that long to be imprinted into him, to understand and become second nature to him. Now, for the clients and for the people who are seeking to change, what is the biggest obstacle when it comes to change, especially within?
Well, this is a mindset podcast, so I'll answer this question with mindset. If your goal is to change your habits, then you'll probably fail. Because like Chris said, it's 21. I've seen studies that say it's up to 265 or 268. So that means you'd have to do something. If that's true, you'd have to do something every day for 9 months. And if you miss one day, you have to start from zero. You know what I mean? So imagine if it's like 268 and you miss at 156. You know what I mean? That's like, shoot, I got to start from zero. You'll surely fail. So if your goal is to change a habit, you'll probably fail. But when your goal is to make it a lifestyle, then you won't. Because it's like, like I have a healthy lifestyle, but do I like eating a big pile of French fries? Yeah. Now I don't live like that, but I'll get a double patty burger and a big pile of French fries and thoroughly enjoy it. But I work out 6 days a week. Do I live like that? Heck no. So the thing is, with lifestyle, you don't have to be perfect. The important thing is if your goal is to have a habit and then you miss, you create self-deprecating language. You dog on yourself. You create an internal language. Well, I'm not good enough. And why don't I just do this? And blah, blah, blah. And all this stuff that is so ridiculous. But if you make it a lifestyle and you miss, it's not a big deal because I just pick it up tomorrow. It's part of my life. So
very powerful.
I was trying to develop, it kept coming to me, meditate. And I tried to start a habit, but I was inconsistent. And then one day I learned this principle, kind of put 2 and 2 together. And then I thought, I'm making meditation a lifestyle. And now I don't miss, because it's a lifestyle. It's part of who I am. And if I don't, and are there occasionally that maybe every few weeks I don't do it once? You know what I mean? So the majority, I do it over 90% of the time, but what if I didn't? Well, I just don't feel like it right now, or maybe I'm tired, but although that's rare, but I'm not going to create, well, I'm bad and I'm not worthy and why can't I do this and all this other bullshit, really, pardon my language. I just say, I just don't feel like it right now. So, but then you're right on it the next day. I don't even notice if I don't do it, which is rare anyway. You don't even notice it because it's part of me. So it's just something you do. I don't think about doing it. I just do it.
So it becomes a second nature to you. The change you want to make is almost second nature to you. You can feel it. It becomes your lifestyle rather than a change.
Yeah, it becomes who you are. You know what I mean? So you're not developing a habit. It's not like, well, I'm this person trying to do this. No, this is part of who I am, how I get centered, how I connect with myself. So I automatically do it because of the pleasure and the benefits that it gives me. And so it becomes part of your life. Like working out, not working out is not an option. I feel better when I work out. My mind is clear. My body feels strong. Meditation, it gets me out of my head into my heart, creates pattern interruptions, keeps me in the state of peace. I feel more empowered, and that's how I fulfill my soul purpose.
Now,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so many people think, well, I meditate and I'm going to do it as a task. And then you get in a state of peace, and then you run around the rest of the day in anxiety with all these things, right? And it took me 25 years to think, well, I meditate, I visualize my goals, so I should be successful. And then I'd run around stressed the whole day, right? Mm-hmm. And then I realized meditation is a reference point. Because anytime you get in a state of peace, so anytime through that day, I don't feel that state of peace, I have a tool and a skill to return to peace at any moment. So meditation is a tool that when you use it over and over, it becomes a skill. So then you can use that tool with skill to return to peace at any moment.
Wow. Now, I see the hashtag Mindset Master on your t-shirt, and I want to talk about your books. So you tackle whichever you want first. We go after the second one after.
Okay, well, I think the most important is You're More Powerful Than You Think. Introduces a 6-step system. It's called HEALED. I think every human, we're a divine being in human form, here to fulfill a soul purpose. So the acronym HEALED really begins with honor God within yourself. It's how to identify with your divine reference point, how to clear of your past. In other words, get out of your mind, get into your heart, get rid of the pain of the past, reframe it. See how every experience in our life is moving us toward our purpose. There's a gift in every pain, how to release that emotional energy, how to find, how to discover, live, and fulfill your soul, SOUL purpose. So it takes spirituality and puts it into a step-by-step system. So when you go through the 6 steps, you're at a higher consciousness. If you want to get through an even higher conscious, go through it again. If you want to get to a higher conscious, go through it again. So it's almost like a spiritual cookbook on how to move into your divine reference point, become more empowered from the inside out, and not be so immersed in the conditions of the world, but be able to make a difference in the world from an inside out reference point.
Amazing. And the book was called
You Are More Powerful Than You Think, right? How to get out of our mind and into our heart.
Fantastic. Now, the hashtag, let's talk about that. Mindset Master.
Yes. Well, I have a chiropractic coaching group. I mean, we're starting the You Are More Powerful coaching group. That's, sole purpose for the general public. But I do have Elite Chiropractic Coaching. And, real quick, in chiropractic, people come in with back pain, but what's our real goal? To teach them how to live a lifestyle. So we got to change their beliefs, right? So people that come in, I don't have time, I can't afford it, We don't use credit cards and, you know, all this stuff. Those are actually belief systems. So for a person to come in with one belief system and completely change their belief system, where you get over 9 out of 10 of your patients into lifestyle of chiropractic, you got to change their belief systems. So they're coming in with all these subconscious patterns. And what we've done in the past is talk to their conscious mind with information, trying to change subconscious emotional patterns. And then thinks about back pain. So we have Elite Coaching is actually a self-empowerment system. We actually train you how to change belief systems, how to get a mindset master is you're learning how to change the mindset of people. So we have our boot camps, they're called mindset mastery boot camps. It's our patient management system. And the whole premise is chiropractic is really a self-empowerment system with a healthcare application. We're trying to create empowered people that will live their life at a higher level with chiropractic. But nobody's ever trained us how to do that. We've been trained how to talk about a subluxation to a person rather than learning to talk to a person with a subluxated spine. So rather than just describing an x-ray, you know, we're actually catching up to what everybody else in the world is doing, because this is what Tony Robbins is doing, Brendan Burchard, you know, Russell Brunson, you know, Richard Branson, you know, all these guys that are creating these cultures that are changing the world. And so all I did was say is, how well are we doing in chiropractic at creating a lifestyle culture? And basically what's that answer? We suck. 125 years, we haven't even changed the belief system past back pain. In fact, we've gone backwards. So
I completely agree.
Yeah, this is what Mindset Master is. People that come into Elite, go to our boot camps. We literally train you how to become a mindset master, a professional self-empowerment coach and leader. We train your team, and all of a sudden, man, you find that patients, they just move into your program. You know, we see an average of 8 out of 10 moving through full corrective care, and 8 to 9 out of 10 of those moving into lifetime care, into lifestyle.
It all has to do with that mindset and wanting change and trying to find it and giving the people the tool to literally influence their wellness. We are coming full circle now.
Exactly, man. That's it. So when you look at, hey, you're more powerful, will help you connect with your divinity, clear of your past, it'll help you become more self-empowered, right? So you can influence people with your presence. Number one, when you're at peace and you're vibrating higher, just your presence alone will influence people, right? Because they're innate beings and they feel your presence and your power, and they want to be part of that regardless of what you say. But then when you have the communication tools to be able, not only with your presence, but the communication tools to change their mindset and belief system, you will find you don't need to market. People will just come into your practice.
Amazing. I know time of a restraint, and I know you have a call coming up soon. I just wanted to thank you for the time that devoted to us. Please give us some of, if somebody's trying to find you, where would they find you? Email address, any sorts of website that you have going?
Okay, you can go to elitecoachingllc.com. You can email me personally, Dr. Fred, DRFRED1, the number 1, so Dr. Fred1 at msn.com. Certainly go to youaremorepowerful.com. There's a whole online coaching system. You can get the book there. And when you go to Elite Coaching, I wrote a chiropractic book, all with medical studies, human behavior, how technology is making us sick. It's called Back to Health. Hey, for $20, or I think it's $15, you know, that'll give you medical research that shows how curve changes cause stress on the cord and makes us sick. So you have You're More Powerful Than You Think. You have Back to Health. I mean, here are resources that will change how you view yourself from the inside out, your sole purpose, and how you want to deliver that to change humanity in this lifetime.
Dr. Fred, thank you so very much. Our viewers, our listeners, thank you for tuning in for this interview. We appreciate you. Thank you for all the comments, and hopefully we will see you another perfect time. Have a great day.
Thank you, man.